Hi, I'm Karthikeyan and welcome back to Life Hackers Academy. The simple life hacks to help you stay healthy, wealthy, and happy. Yesterday we spoke about action and execution and how it is the only thing that stands between your dreams and to living your dreams. Action. And today what we're going to talk about is about motivation. Because, whenever we want to do anything in life, any action, we need to have that motivation. And what does motivation stands for? Motive for action. In other words, it is the reason or the why in the first place you're going to do what you want to do or what you're doing, right? Why do you do what you do? So the motivation is the motive for action is motivation. And here is what it gets a little more tricky because most people rely on motivation way too much than it's supposed to be. And that's when most people, after the initial, the high of to want to do things and the excitement, they will not be able to take it forward in their life, be it be a new year resolution. So what happens is this. They take any commitment, goal, or a resolution, and the initial motivation fades away slowly after a week, few days after day, week after week, month after month. Slowly it's all gone. And that's when they become helpless and they go back to their old self. So, what is motivation is all about then, and how do we keep ourselves motivated all the time? And that's what we are going to talk about today. So, primarily, the motivation itself, how it works is there are two types of motivation. One is extrinsic, another one is intrinsic. The extrinsic is primarily work on the pain and pleasure, reward and punishment, carrot and stick. This analogy you must have heard hundreds of times, and that's the only way that people motivated uh, anyone when during their childhood, be it the parents or the teachers or anybody. What they will do is they either reward any behavior or punish any behavior or action by either rewarding it, say, hey, if you do this, I'll give you this candy. Oh, if you do that, I'm going to punish you. Either they take the reward and punishment methodology, and that's how even the teachers, when at least I grew up, they it worked. And my parents, or even when you work for any employer, this is how it works. Either they reward your behavior or they punish a behavior. So what is desirable and what is accepted for them, it stays with you, and that you perform more frequently, and that's how it works. So that's about extrinsic motivation. So what about intrinsic motivation? The intrinsic motivation is a little more trickier than extrinsic motivation because the intrinsic motivation is the motivation that you get, and that's when it becomes this. The intrinsic motivation also can have both punishment and reward. That's kind of a self-criticism, or the the guilt that you feel. That's kind of a pain that you wanted to avoid, so you do some action to yourself. Because, for an example, I keep telling to myself that I will lose some 20 pounds here now and then, but then if I don't lose it, I feel guilty about my own behavior. So that is a pain that's going to cause. To avoid that pain, I'm going to take some action. On the other hand, I would say to myself that, you know what, if I achieve my the 20-pound weight loss goal, then I would reward myself a vacation, which was my dream vacation, which I wanted to do all the time. So that way, again, I can reward myself and my own behavior. There is no one outside, it's all me. And there is one more important motivation which we need to know. That is, though the motivation, the motive for action, it is more of a logical reasoning or why we do what we do, there is one more key element. That is the motivation with an emotion. Let me repeat. Motive for action with an emotion. What does it mean is, if I say I wanted to become an author and I'm just working on my book, for me to get motivation of showing up every single day and writing the few pages, I have to be consistent with my motivation. So though I know that the reason is the logical reason, I can say XYZ, I will become a published author, and I can have my own training programs and etc. There is one more thing that comes in. The whole idea of seeing myself as an author, that creates an emotion inside me. And that's what I truly think the motivation is all about. And that whenever you lack something, the lack motivation, instead of looking for extrinsic motivation, if you look inside, why do you desire to do what you do? And what is a core thing that you feel emotionally, not the reasons or the benefits that you get, right? So that's about motivation. And one other thing that I want to talk to you about motivation is motivation has to be backed up with routines, habits, and rituals. What I mean by that is this. See, sometimes in your life you come across some resolution that you wanted to eat healthy, you wanted to start investing money and save some money, etc. Something that you should understand is this. Though the motivation is like a jet fuel which will last for some time, which is important to get you started. But if you rely on that motivation forever, you may run out of it sooner. And that's when you need to rely on habit, discipline, routines, and these things come in handy for you. So, what I suggest is this. Just look at your New Year resolution. If you have made any New Year resolution for 2017, and I'm sure there must be some goals that you really want to do. And most people set their goals or resolution for on their health and finance primarily, or might be their career, right? So if you're looking at that specific goal or your resolution, ask yourself, why do you do, or why have you taken that resolution in the first place? Is it for the world is around you, they're taking all this action and that's why you're compelled to do it? Or is that something that you really wanted to feel yourself? So what is that emotionally that you feel while setting that new resolution or the goal? Ask yourself these questions, and that will become a very important factor for you to carry through or carry forward even after weeks, even after months, even after years to come. Because one thing, my friend, when you set a goal on anything in life, it's not a one-time thing, right? What I mean by that is, it's not about I will lose 20 pounds today and after that I don't care. I'll put on all the weights that I lost back plus 10 pounds extra. Then I would save some money to buy something. I'll buy it, then I'll go on splurging and spending all my money. No, life doesn't work that way. You have to have the consistency throughout. And the next video, tomorrow, what we're going to see is all about how to stop trying and start being. With that thing, let's conclude today's episode about motivation. So to stay motivated, ask yourself, what is that one thing that you really, really feel and you feel proud of? And ask yourself, why did you set that goal? And what is the motivation behind all your action? And that will help you go in the long run. Along with it, try to see what habits and what routines you can add to your existing motivation with your goals. And that will help you be on track for a long time and achieve your goal effortlessly. So let's get started. See you tomorrow.